Hello peepers. I hope you enjoy our video so far. Today I would like to share another summary about a movie called My First Client. This movie is inspired by a 2013 domestic violence case in Korea. Spoilers ahead, take care and enjoy. The story focuses on the life of a lawyer named Jeong Yob and two siblings who had lost their mom. Jeong Yob is a gloomy lawyer who never gets accepted into a famous law firm even after he has been interviewed several times. Fortunately, with her sister's connection, Jeong Yob starts to work in a local child welfare agency. Meanwhile, although they have lost their mom, the two siblings who live in the same city with Jeong Yob, Dobin, and Min Jun, seem to have an affectionate relationship. Both siblings don't memorize their mom well. Min Jun can't draw their mom and Dobin can't give him a good description. When she checked some of their old photos, their dad had cut all their mom's faces so the children can't remember her. That night, when their dad comes home, he asks Dobin to call Min Jun because they want to have dinner together outside. It's the first time both siblings are introduced to their stepmom. Afterward, the siblings live their life more cheerfully while their stepmom takes care of them. Things start to get worse when one night, during dinner, Min Jun keeps dropping his food because he can't hold his chopstick properly. Their mom starts to feel irritated. One night, during another dinner, the sibling's stepmom is shown talking to someone on her phone. Someone wants to report her fraud case to the police, which makes her angry. Later, when she sees Min Jun drop his food again, she becomes furious. She then chokes Dobin because she doesn't teach Min Jun how to use chopsticks properly. The next morning, Dobin skips school and goes to the local child welfare agency where Jeong Yob works to report her stepmom. However, all adults there look indifferent to the matter. Dobin asks whether reporting her stepmom for hitting her is a bad thing. Unfortunately, only Jeong Yob answers her, ensuring that she did the right thing. After receiving a report from Dobin, Jeong Yob and his workmate decide to visit Dobin's house to talk to her stepmom. Her stepmom acts as if Dobin lied about her violence. She admits that she sometimes lost her patience, but she never choked Dobin. Later, while getting into their car, Jeong Yob's workmate tells him that although they know the parents hit their children, child welfare agency staff have no right to investigate. That night, the stepmom punishes Dobin and hits her again, while Min Jun can only curl up in his room listening to her sisters scream. Her stepmom later tells their dad whether they can abandon the children. Since they lost their mom, Dobin and Min Jun receive a large amount of money for their life. If their parents want the money, they have to take care of them. The following day, Dobin wants to talk to her teacher about the abuse. Noticing the scar on Dobin's neck and knowing what Dobin plans to tell her, the teacher pretends to be busy and avoids her. Min Jun later asks Dobin to find Jeong Yob, since he once told Dobin that she did the right thing. Later, they visit the child welfare agency again and look for Jeong Yob. He then accompanies those siblings strolling on the bridge in their town. He also takes Dobin and Min Jun to the hamburger restaurant to eat together. He tries to give them some encouragement by telling them that he also lost his mom when he was a child, but managed to grow up well. After eating together in the hamburger restaurant, Jeong Yob drives them home. That night, while holding onto their mom's photo, Min Jun once again tells Dobin his eagerness to meet their mom. The following day, the siblings come again to the child welfare agency to meet Jeong Yob. They bring the photo and ask for Jeong Yob's help to find the woman in the photo. Maybe those women are their mom's friends, so they can see their mom's face again. Jeong Yob refuses, telling them that he isn't a detective. Although he is annoyed that those siblings keep coming to him, Jeong Yob has no choice but to accompany them to keep his job in the agency. He takes them to walk around the shopping district in the town and also to the nearest zoo. The next day, while accompanying those siblings in the drawing room, Jeong Yob receives a phone call from one of his friends in Seoul. He got confirmation that he is accepted into one of the prestigious law firms in Seoul. He then drives those siblings home and gives them money for their hamburgers. Before separating, he also gives Min Jun a King Kong doll. He only tells the siblings that he wants to go to Seoul, but he never tells them that he won't be back. Before leaving in a hurry, Jeong Yob gives his name card to Dobin. Arriving at the law firm in Seoul, after talking a bit with his boss, Jeong Yob is asked to start working next week. The next day, when he is done packing, Jeong Yob drives to Seoul. On his way, he sees Dobin and Min Jun standing in front of the hamburger restaurant. Suddenly, a sense of guilt appears in his heart. Meanwhile, Min Jun is still waiting for Jeong Yob. He is sure that Jeong Yob will keep his promise and eventually eat hamburgers with them. However, their life turns to horror when they get home and meet their stepmom. She finds Jeong Yob's name card and is furious. She hits Dobbin until the kid loses consciousness. The next day, Dobbin passed out in the school. There was blood coming out of her ear. The teacher immediately calls Jeong Yob to tell him about Dobbin's condition. Jeong Yob then goes to the hospital to visit Dobbin. Later, Jeong Yob tries to talk to the child welfare staff. He also meets Dobbin's stepmom and the dad, but no one seems to care about his domestic violence. Realizing that he also can't help them, Jeong Yob goes back to Seoul. That night, Minjun can't sleep and asks Dobbin to play with him and the King Kong doll. Minjun somehow still thinks Jeong Yob will be back to have hamburgers with them, so he keeps the money. Their stepmom suddenly comes to the room and becomes furious after seeing the money. She accuses Minjun of stealing from her and hits him several times. She then asks Dobbin to hit her brother. Dobbin slaps Minjun twice in the face slowly before hugging her brother and then apologizes. Seeing their insolence, the stepmom hits Minjun and Dobbin again and again. Their neighbors hear their screams, but do nothing about it. That night, Minjun died. The teacher tells this sad news to Jeong Yob. She said Dobbin admits that she hit her brother until he died because he stole their mom's money to buy a hamburger. Jeong Yob knows Dobbin will never do that. He also knows that they get the money from him. It is later revealed that their stepmom forced her to take the blame, or she will kill her like she killed Minjun. The incident became a news sensation. Jeong Yob later tries to talk to the police, but they can't investigate further since Dobbin has admitted it. Dobbin also won't be locked in jail because she is underage. Her stepmom looks graceful and unaffected by Minjun's death. She even takes Dobbin to go shopping. At home, she throws all Minjun's stuff, including the King Kong doll that Jeong Yob gave him. Meanwhile, Dobbin looks sad every day. Jeong Yob, who can ignore his guilt, later resigns from his job in Seoul only to work hard on Dobbin's case. He begs one of his friends to help him. His previous workmate also helps him collect proofs and petitions to reopen this case. In the end, they decide to sue Dobbin's parents for domestic violence and unintentional murder toward their children. At the same time, Dobbin still doesn't want to meet Jeong Yob nor present in the trial as a witness. Jeong Yob doesn't want to give up. He asks Dobbin's friend, Jang Ho, to deliver presents to Dobbin every day. Dobbin never opens it. One day, she finds a recording in one of Jeong Yob's presents. In the recording, Jeong Yob asks her to meet him on the bridge anytime she wants because he will always wait there. Unfortunately, when she wants to go to the bridge, her stepmom comes home and finds their recording. She got beaten again. Jang Ho, who hears Dobbin's scream, calls Jeong Yob immediately. Right before her stepmom wants to hit her with a wooden chair, Jeong Yob breaks into their house and stops her. Jeong Yob finds Dobbin lying down on the floor, heavily injured. Jeong Yob later took Dobbin to his house and treated her wound. That night, Dobbin's dad comes to fetch her, but Jeong Yob doesn't let him meet Dobbin. In the trial, Dobbin's stepmom still insists that she is guilty. Meanwhile, the prosecutor states that Minjun's autopsy shows his wound would be impossible to be caused by a 10-year-old kid. Before the second trial, Jeong Yob finds out that the King Kong doll he gave to Minjun can also function as a recorder. He then goes to the recycling center to search for the doll, hoping that the thing also recorded the domestic violence. Unfortunately, he can't find it. In the second trial, Dobbin doesn't want to say anything. The judge gives them rest time, which Jeong Yob uses to persuade Dobbin. He apologizes for not helping them until it has been too late. Several minutes before trial, Jeong Yob sees Jang Ho arrive with his parents with the King Kong doll. Jang Ho must have taken the doll when Dobbin's stepmom throws Minjun's things. The trial continues, and with the help of the King Kong doll, Dobbin explains what happened that day. She admits that she slaps Minjun twice because her stepmom asked her to do so. Later, she tells the judge that it was their stepmom who beat Minjun dead. The prosecutor plays the recording to the judge, showing how the stepmom has beaten them harshly until Minjun died. Even after the recording, their stepmom thinks that it's her right to discipline and hit their children. Jeong Yob is furious, saying that she isn't a mom because a mom will never do that. The judge sentences Dobbin's stepmom to 16 years in jail and their dad to 5 years. 6 months later, Jeong Yob finds Dobbin's mom's photo. He gives it to Dobbin on the bridge. Dobbin talks to Minjun there, saying that he might find their mom in heaven easily since he now knows what their mom looks like. Minjun's favorite paper plane flies above the sky, while Dobbin leaves the bridge with Jeong Yob. Peepers, don't forget to check our other videos. Like, comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Asian movies recap. Catch you in the next update.